You need to leave. This lounge is for real clients." Lisa Newman's words sliced through the quiet of the marble-lined private lounge in Summit Wealth Bank, hitting Vanessa Clark like a gavel. It was 10:17 a.m. on a humid Miami morning, and those 8 words landed with a sting, not because Vanessa believed them, but because she'd expected them. But let me ask you, have you ever been dismissed by someone who didn't know you actually own the place? If this resonates, hit subscribe and share this story, because what happens next will change how you see power, bias, and banking. Vanessa Clark, 46, entered the branch in dark jeans, a pale blue cashmere sweater, and simple black loafers. She didn't look like the CEO of Summit Enterprises, the multi-billion-dollar company that had acquired Summit Wealth Bank 2 years ago. That was intentional. Today was a test. No entourage, no designer bag, no flashy jewelry, just a slim tablet case and quiet confidence. She requested access to the private lounge to complete a $5 million withdrawal. The teller waved her through without question. But as soon as Vanessa sat down, the calm shattered. Lisa Newman, the branch manager, approached with the urgency of someone searching for a fire. Her blonde bob swung as she leaned over the desk. "We'll need proof of where your funds came from," she said, her tone flat, her eyes cold. Vanessa didn't flinch. She'd seen this before, when her first real estate commission was flagged as suspicious, when a loan officer called her high risk despite ample collateral, and now, 2 decades and $8 billion later, the same look. Vanessa calmly opened her tablet, queued up a document, and slid it across the table. Before Lisa could even glance at it, a voice cut in, "Don't clog up the line, sweetheart." Edward Pierce, a white investment banker in a sharp gray suit, sneered as he passed, knocking Vanessa's tablet to the floor. Vanessa stared at him, calm and composed. Edward didn't look back. In the corner, Natalie Wells, a private banker, crossed her arms. "That amount doesn't add up. You could have stolen it." Her words, though quiet, carried across the room. 2 clients looked up, one raising an eyebrow, another whispering. Vanessa blinked slowly, then said, "Run my name." Lisa shook her head. "You're not verified. This isn't a walk-in center." At the back, Keith Morris, a young tech entrepreneur, started filming on his phone. Vanessa noticed and spoke firmly. "Don't. We settle this with facts, not footage." A tall black man in a gray suit, Calvin Holt, walked over to Keith. "Brother, put that down. This is bigger than a viral clip. It's about how we speak up, not just how we go viral." Keith hesitated. Vanessa met his eyes. "Words," she said. "Use your words." The room stilled. Maya Reed, hands clutching her purse, finally whispered, "This is foul." Vanessa turned to her. "Speak up. Let them hear it." Maya stood. "She's not the problem." "You are," she said, pointing at Lisa and Natalie. Natalie raised a brow. "Security's on standby," she muttered. Edward, now leaning against a pillar, smirked. "You all really think this woman has $500,000 sitting in an account here?" He flicked a note across the floor. Maya picked it up and read aloud. "Go to a pawn shop." The room gasped. An elderly woman clutched her purse tighter. A young father looked up from his phone. The quiet was gone, replaced by a low hum of tension. "That's enough," Vanessa said, her voice rising but still composed. "You're destroying this institution with every word." Lisa smirked. "You're not a client. You're a con artist. Go play rich somewhere else." Vanessa took a breath, pulled out her phone, and dialed. "Carla, start protocol 6. On the other end, her assistant replied, "It's ready, ma'am." "You're going to regret this," Vanessa said, "not because I'll scream or post a video, but because you just told the wrong woman she doesn't belong in the bank she owns." Lisa scoffed. "Delusions don't scare me." Keith raised his phone again, but Calvin stepped forward. "We do this the right way. No videos. We talk." Edward rolled his eyes. "Security now." Lisa nodded at Natalie, who picked up the phone. "She's a fraud," she said. Vanessa didn't move. She held her ground with the same calm that had steadied her through crises before. But now, it wasn't just her assets being challenged. It was her right to exist in this room. If you were told to leave a place you owned, would you? Or would you do what Vanessa did? Sit down, stay silent, and let the storm come to you? Lisa barked. She's a fraud, Robert. Throw her out. Assistant manager Robert Clean stepped forward, hands stiff at his sides. Lisa continued, "This woman is a con artist parading around like she owns the place." Vanessa turned her head, unblinking. The air was thick with tension. Edward added, "She stole that money. Why hasn't she been arrested?" Natalie, arms still crossed, said, "That's stolen cash. No real client makes that kind of request. Not dressed like that." Vanessa took in a comment. Her outfit was intentional, human, not armored. Maya stood, voice shaking but clear. "Enough. You're all out of line. You don't even know her." Edward laughed. "We know the type. She probably got someone's login and thinks she can just walk in here and drain $500,000 like it's her birthday." Robert shifted, uneasy. Keith looked to Vanessa. "I should be recording this." Vanessa shook her head. "Words, not lenses." Calvin stepped closer. "Let your voice work, not your camera. If we want to change the room, we speak in it." Keith nodded. "You're right, but this doesn't feel real." Maya looked around. "It is. This is how they treat us." Natalie snapped, "You're making a scene." Vanessa's voice cut through. "You called security on me for existing. That's the only scene here." Robert finally spoke, eyes to the floor. "Do you have any account verification?" Vanessa dialed Carla again. "They've escalated it. Proceed to phase 2. Carla replied, "I've logged the escalation, noted the language, and time-stamped Lisa's call to security for internal audit." Vanessa nodded. "They'll hear everything." Robert straightened, caught between loyalty and truth. Lisa waved him off. "Don't entertain this. She's just here to make a mess." Edward chimed in. "She's probably filming some social stunt. Try and play victim for views." Keith stepped forward. "She's not filming. But I stopped because she asked us to speak, not post. Maybe try listening for once." Natalie's voice cracked. "Security's coming. Let them deal with this." Maya didn't sit. "Security for what?" "A withdrawal." Lisa raised her voice. "You're all being manipulated. You think someone like her walks in off the street and has access to $500,000? Wake up." Vanessa turned to her. "You sound afraid. That's the sound of your job slipping away, Lisa." Lisa hissed, "Threats? That's what you're going with now." Vanessa replied, "No, just a mirror." Carla's voice returned. "I've elevated the incident to the corporate ethics board. They're monitoring live and have logged every biased phrase. I've also linked the 2023 acquisition documents to your profile for real-time confirmation." Vanessa nodded. "Keep the line open." Lisa scoffed. "Corporate's not going to save your little con job." Robert turned slowly. "Lisa, what if she's right?" Lisa stared at him, betrayed, but the cracks were showing. Vanessa stood, steady and calm. "You asked for proof of funds. You accused me of fraud. You called me a thief. You triggered a security call. You mocked how I dressed. And you humiliated me in front of witnesses. I'm still standing here. Why do you think that is?" Silence fell. Even Edward folded his arms tighter. Maya walked to Vanessa's side. "What now?" Vanessa said, "We wait. The truth is coming, whether they want it or not." Lisa folded her arms. "You're bluffing. You have nothing." Edward barked. "If she had money, she'd show it. You people always act entitled until someone asks for numbers." Calvin turned sharply. "You people." The words echoed. Robert sat down, ashamed. "This isn't how we should treat people." Natalie rolled her eyes. "It's called protocol." Vanessa spoke to Carla. "Have you started phase 3? Carla replied, "Already underway. Lisa's compliance reports are being pulled. 8 prior service complaints involved women of color. All filed as unverified and never escalated. It's not a good look." Vanessa closed her eyes, absorbing the weight of it. "Thank you, Carla. Don't stop." Maya's voice cracked. They're trying to erase us with policy, with tone, with fake concern for security. Vanessa placed a hand on her shoulder. Not today. Lisa smirked. You think your little phone call and a few tech buzzwords are going to change anything? Vanessa's gaze sharpened. No, but I'm not here to change everything. I'm here to end this branch's silence. Keith murmured, damn. Calvin nodded. And this is why we don't record. Because when people speak the truth, it doesn't need a filter. Suddenly, Natalie picked up Vanessa's fallen tablet, looked at it, and tossed it aside. Stolen junk? She muttered. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. That was yours to destroy, or just your impulse to control. Natalie turned her back. Robert watched, shaking his head. She's gone too far. Vanessa spoke again. Every second you spend talking instead of reflecting is a second closer to the end of your employment. Lisa's smile faded. You think you're some kind of hero? Vanessa's tone sharpened. No, I'm your reckoning. Call the police. She's a financial threat. Lisa snapped. Natalie Wells didn't hesitate. She picked up the phone and dialed, her voice loud for all to hear. Yes, we have a woman here attempting to withdraw funds under false pretenses. High amount possibly stolen. Vanessa sat motionless, hands folded over her tablet. You just made a federal false report. I hope you're ready to explain it in court. Lisa scoffed. Sweetheart, that's not how this works. We protect the institution, not the imposters. She turned to Robert. Get her out now. Robert didn't move. She hasn't even raised her voice, he muttered. That's what scares you, isn't it? Edward stepped forward, waving a platinum business card. She's laundering money. That's obvious. What else do you need? Lisa stepped behind Vanessa and demanded, Show me your financial history right now. If you're legit, prove it. Open your account in front of everyone. Vanessa didn't move, but looked up as footsteps echoed in. The security lead, Tyler Moss, arrived in Navy uniform with a Summit Wealth badge. What's going on here? He asked. Natalie pointed at Vanessa. She's a suspected fraud. We've requested verification. She's refused. And now she's escalating with her phone. Tyler nodded and walked over, standing in front of Vanessa. I need your bag and your tablet. He didn't ask, he reached. When Vanessa didn't move, Tyler shoved her purse off the seat. You're being detained for noncompliance. Calvin stepped forward. That is not legal. She hasn't broken a single law. Maya gripped her phone, trembling. This is what happens, even when you sit quietly. Vanessa's eyes locked on Tyler. Touch me again, and I will personally make sure.